WineLibraryTV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program, and we have maybe one of the most blockbuster episodes of Wine Library TV in our illustrious 500-plus career mott. We have Walter from Poland in the house. I mean, this man made a huge effort. Get over here, Walter. Come on, say a little hello. Tell me what's going on.
I'm bringing the Thunder from Poland, and actually, I don't come from Poland. I come from Ukraine, which is not that far from where Gary is.
But you live in Poland.
Yeah, I do.
And you emailed us, wanted to come and see the show.
Yeah.
And we made it happen.
Yes.
Very nice.
That's exactly what I
Now get out of here. All right. So, we have a tremendous episode today. We are going to focus on a lot of wine. I have an obnoxious amount of shout-outs. I will tell you right now, after the show, it's going to be one of the most epic 10-minute discussions. I'm going to talk about the Thunder Cruise. I'm going to talk about Brett Favre. I'm going to talk about my shout-outs. I'm going to talk about India. I'm going to talk about a lot of things, but I'm not going to do that here because that's at least 10 to 15 minutes. So a lot of you I know don't want that stuff. Maybe you don't like me as much. You're just here to, rate me for my ratings. I get it. You don't leave comments, lurkers. I see you. Did a lot of stats over the 15-hour flight to India, and saw a lot of interesting things. Big shout out to London, exploding in the UK, mod. I'm getting huge in the UK. I have to move there. I'm gonna be into football instead of football. I'm just kidding. Speaking of sports, look at Della Torre coming through huge. I was just gonna announce that I was gonna do the Hulu contest tomorrow. Brian, you gotta come and say, you gotta take credit for. Brian is the man who not only runs our entire audit department and is the man of why we're a good company, but this man is tremendous at cutting up. This is what you do.
Thanks.
The man cuts up
That's
everything
one
we
of
ever do.
expertise.
It's one of your. So we've got the Hulu commenters in here. Now, what was the Hulu thing for? A big swag pack, right? Like every swag we've ever done, every wristband, every shirt, right? Let's get right into it. The winner of our Hulu contest, and if you don't know what that was, Mott, link it up just so people see. You can always look at contests above me. If you're watching me on YouTube or iTunes, you got to go to WineLibraryTV.com. And the winner of the Hulu contest is. You're going to have to email Mott, and he'll set it up. Mott, put your email down below so they know how to contact you, or CMOTT@WineLibrary.com. The winner is YVETW. YVETTEW. We have contact with Hulu to know who that person is. There you go, Mott. Congratulations on your $250 swag pack. We will come up with another contest very, very shortly. Okay, Pinot Noirs. Very interesting battle today. We're doing three $40 Pinot Noirs, 44, 46, and 40 U.S. bones. So in the $40 price range, one from Burgundy, one from Oregon, and one from California, from the Santa Rita Hills area, which is one of the dominant areas. So this is a real battle royale, as they like to call it. I'm talking about like William the Refrigerator Perry and Big John Studd's battle royal style. That kind of battle royal. Three massive Pinots in this general similar price range, bringing Thunder, supposedly, great scores across the board. 90 Spectator, 90 Josh Reynolds, who writes for Steven Tanzer, and 91 points Wine Spectator. So all pressed well, but we're going to be the judge of that on my own palate. So actually, I will be the judge of that, not we, because you all have your own palates, and so maybe you have a different situation and you disagree. We should give a huge shout out to Dom, who came through. We talked about the fact that we wanted a Stinkor original in package, and look at the Vayner Nation coming through. We talked about a wine that smelled exactly like Stinkor smelled, and I guess I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this until we come across that smell again. Because I feel like not opening it because it's like collectible, I'll just leave it here for now. By the way, zoom in on this. This is some nostalgia right in here. Look at this old school back of the He-Man box. I mean, this is classic stuff. Love it. Too bad. Remember him? Spike Ore. Everybody was an Ore. Mossman was my absolute favorite. Okay, let's get into the vino because I said I wouldn't blabber, and of course I went right to the blabbering. Let's start with the Domaine Bretania Vosges Premier Cru Clos de la Pierre 2004 vintage. Now, understand this is the Vosges, so it's a Premier Cru, not the Clos Vosges, which is a Grand Cru. That's the one you normally see. That is something to take note of. 44 bones, 90 points Wine Spectator from the Burgundy region. And so Burgundy is, probably some of the most sought-after wine in the world. Especially the 05 vintage has gotten very, very much attention from all the major collectors out there. And I gotta tell you, wow, look at that sediment all up in there. I love it. Look at the sediment. Beautiful. I love sediment. 04 was a very good vintage as well, overshadowed by the 05s, but 05, just similar to what happened in Bordeaux, in Burgundy, completely fundamentally changed the price points of Burgundy. So we're getting great value in the 04s, so I highly recommend if you're into the Pinot Noir, and especially from Burgundy, you want to go seek out the 04s. Oh, my hair's growing back pretty quickly, by the way, isn't it? You didn't really see it, did you? But did you see some of the Ustream stuff and stuff like that? Yeah. All right. Let's give this wine a sniffy sniff. Wow, I didn't have to wait long for Stinkor. Just kidding. But that being said, an obnoxious amount, huge level of pickle juice coming through on the nose. Absolutely high level of pickle juice. Wow, really wild. Like sour kosher pickles coming through on the nose. I also get a little faint hint of cranberry, but I've got to be honest with you. The pickle component is dominating. There's a little stinky stink going on, but not like stink or stunk. More like a little bit of like maybe a manure, like a little fertilizer action. A little farmland USA, if you know what I mean. Now as it's opening up and we swirl, we're getting a little bit more strawberry component. These wines have only been open for about an hour now. Good thing we were delaying otherwise. 30? I think an hour. No? 30? 30 minutes. So not too long at all. A little pop and pour action today. It's opening up nicely. There's a little basil component coming through as well now on the nose, which I like quite a bit. Nose is very special, very interesting. I like it. It's definitely old world. You'd never confuse this for a new world nose. Let's give it a whirl. Interesting wine, very complex. Huge rounded cherries on the rounded edges of your palate. Right there, I'm getting a great red cherry component that's very interesting. It's let in with a little bit of like a celery stick kind of thing going on. I don't know if it's Eastern European fare, but every time my mom would make like little hen, in there, in the guts, she'd stick like basil and celery and carrot, all sorts of mumbo jumbo that I would always like. That's coming through, so a greenish component coming through as well. I get a little ham thing going on. I'm not kidding. It makes me think a little bit of Thanksgiving. I feel like a little ham thing with like cranberry sauce. The nose of the cranberry, which was faint, comes through very heavy on the mouthfeel. It's a medium to full-bodied Pinot Noir, so that's also interesting because a lot of times people think of the Burgundian wines as a little bit more delicate and elegant, but this one brings a little bit more of a punch, a little more of an oomph, as they like to say. Let me try it one more time. Again, really nice color. Wow, so pickle driven. It's like unbelievable to me. Tons of pickles, tons of raspberries, tons of cranberries, grapefruit, just really, really well made. This is a very good Pinot Noir. This is really my style, but you've got to be a fan of the old world because this is not a fruit bomb by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to score this wine 91 plus points. I think it's a very spectacular effort at 44 bones, an extremely fair price given the way the euro is kicking our necks in, and definitely a wine that if you're into wine, especially a little bit more functified, a little dirty, a little bit more serious, a little bit more complex, this is the kind of Pinot Noir that I think is going to hit your palate. Really good effort by Bretania. Very good start to this episode. Let's move on. Little rinse. Let's see what's going on here. Man, it's good to be back in the Thunder Saddle, man. Actually, while I'm here, let's give a big shout out to Rack Malik from London, a big fan, and I wanted to give him a shout out. And I also wanted to take a moment of silence for Gianni Mascarelli, one of the great producers in Italy, passed away at an extremely young age, 53 years old, extremely sad. One of the real pioneers in Montepulciano, makes just amazing wines from Abruzzo, and I just figured I'd want to give him a shout out, so I'd like to pass that on as well. Let's move on. Antica Terra, 2006 Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley. This wine rolls in at 46 U.S. bones, made by Maggie Harrison, who's also the assistant winemaker at Cinquanon, and makes a wine under her own label, Lillian. This is a 14.4% alcohol content Pinot. Comes in a little bit more of a Alsatian bottling than the standard Burgundy bottle that you normally see, so that's a little bit unusual, a little marketing play there from Antica Terra. I've really liked some of the wines from them in the past. This is the 06 vintage. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Interesting. Just give it one more swirl. You'll see why in a second. Wow. Very poopy in my nosy. A heavy level of manure coming through on this nose. This is definitely a absolute poop barnyard nose. This is the classic thing we talk about when you talk about tasting and smelling, you know, poop. I mean, this has enormous levels of cow manure coming through in my nose, and you know what? I kind of like it, but a lot of people won't, so you have to know what you're getting into. Heavy on the manure. Now it's coming through, opening up a little bit more. Now I'm getting a little bit of a raspberry component, which I like. This is definitely stinctified, though, my friends. This is totally stinctified, and I don't mind it. Let's give it a whirl. More bright fruit than the last wine. I get a rose petal component that attacks the palate right from the get-go. And give it one more whirl. Definitely like a sour cherry thing going on in the mid palate, which I like quite a bit. I get like a little bit of like a garnish, like a green garnish kind of thing going on, which is fine. The manure continues throughout the mouthfeel. It's dominated by cherries afterwards. A little bit of that raspberry I was talking about. Definitely not the cranberry component from the last wine. There's more of a raspberry cherry thing going on. I do get a little bit more of that greenness that I was talking about before. A little bit of that forest floor. There is a little bit of like a tobacco leaf component on the back end, which is kind of interesting. Nice mouthfeel. Very smooth, very elegant. Missing a little bit of a mid palate for me. A little hollow, not completely, but on the transition fruit, a little matte. The finish is nice and long. It's kind of a solid wine, but a little bit forgettable for me. I mean, there's just a lot of Pinots that I've had from Oregon that are like this. And just like Kellen Clemens now for your New York Jets, this is falling a little out of favor with my palate. You know, this is a backup now. And actually, Ratliff, who's stunning the Jets right now, this Ratliff guy, just remember I said this, I'm putting it on video now, so when he's our quarterback in 3 years, I was like, what? I was like, yeah, I said it way back when Stinkor was on my desk. Anyway, Ratliff is moved ahead of Kellen on the depth chart. This wine is definitely not the best effort I've had from Oregon. I'm going to score this wine 88 points. I think it's still very good, as you can see by my score. But for 46 bones, I think it's a major pass. And I think there's a lot of wines that you can have out there that are as good, if not better, for maybe even half the price, or maybe in that $28, $29 price range. I've had things that I've liked much more. At 46 bones, this is just not doing it for me. Let's move on. And finally, Ampelos Pinot. Rinse. Mont, what else is going on with you?
Not too much.
Haven't seen you in ages.
I know.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Ampelos, nice package actually. 2005 Santa Rita Hills Pinot Noir, 40 U.S. bones, 91 points Wine Spectator. This wine only produces 376 cases. Small. It's about a case a day, Mott. That's about as much as you drink, so maybe you should take this allocation, see how we like it. Really nice color as well. Let's give it a sniffy sniff, because that's what we do. All right, finally one that isn't cow manure or poop or all that stuff. This is more fruit bomb. Nah, actually, let me take that back. Rewind. Finally, a wine that's not really poopy or horse manure. This is a little bit more of a floral, fruity kind of component thing going on. A little bit of oak, vanilla kind of thing coming through on the nose. Characteristic to Cabernet, but coming through on this Pinot. Very lively fruit. I get some plum, which I think is just gorgeous on this nose. You can't underestimate the little citrus kind of tropical thing that's going on here. Almost like a tangerine component on the nose. Beautiful, beautiful berries coming through. Just a very, very elegant blueberries, believe it or not, coming through, even though it's a little more red fruity. Just really nice on the nose. I get a little cinnamon stick coming through. By the way, have you eaten or gnawed on a cinnamon stick? I think I did that in India. Yeah, I did. That's where I did it. It was so good. I had like cappuccino and they gave me a cinnamon stick. Delicious. Have you gnawed on a cinnamon stick? Just absolutely phenomenal. You gotta gnaw on cinnamon sticks. And I get that coming through here a little bit on the nose. Little roasted peppers kind of thing coming through on the nose too. Very nice nose. Very solid, thunderous nose. Let's give it a whirl and see what we think. This is nice. You know what? I'm pretty impressed. It doesn't go over the top like a lot of Santa Rita Pinot Noirs have. 14.5 alcohol. There we go. Holding itself probably a little higher, but nonetheless. Kind of reminds me of a strawberry Pop-Tart. Like a strawberry Pop-Tart. Fresh out, cut it, you eat the middle. Is that how you ate your Pop-Tarts, Mott? Did you go from the top? I usually split them in the middle and eat them like that. They were hot, though.
Conventional.
You were more conventional. See, you're more conventional. I'm a little bit more rogue. Makes sense. Anyway, really, I'm not kidding. Dramatically reminds me of a strawberry Pop-Tart. So, very delicious. Oh, here we go. Peter, Rebecca, Don, Lindsay. For more details about our wines, Peter, Rebecca, Don, and Lindsay. I guess those are 4 people behind. Oh, they have a website. Ampelos Cellars. You know what, Mom? Let's link it up. I wouldn't say this is a no-brainer mailing list item, but maybe worthwhile getting on it because they do make such a small amount. And I gotta tell you, 40 Bones is pushing it a hair. If this was a $30 Pinot, I'd be losing my face off, and you wouldn't want to see that. But it's really, really well made. It's a very good Pinot Noir, and I like the style. I definitely like it a lot more than the last wine for a New World producer. So Oregon, which actually probably my mind thought was going to win this thing, is going to come in dead last. Now I got to really decide between these two. Stylistically, completely different. So you've got to know what you like. Just it's a different thing. It's kind of like cricket, which I was watching much in India, and boxing. That different. Just different things. That's how these two wines are. Let me just sip this one more time. The Pop-Tart thing is wild. Good tannins on the back end. This wine will last 5 to 10 years easy, and I think will evolve. It's a little light and a little too delicate for me, but Pinot can be very delicate, and you got to know what you like. Again, a solid bottle of wine, and well made. I mean, this is a pretty... Who's the winemaker? They don't say. Very well made Pinot. So if you like structured, elegant, and you like to think about your Pinot Noirs and watch them transition from a nose to the front attack, the first thing you taste, then to a mid-palate transition where in the middle you're tasting things and it's evolving and changing, a little cinnamon spices example, and then going into a big finish that stays on your palate for a while. If you like that, if you like the journey, then this is a wine for you. I'm going to score this wine 92 points. I think this is the wine that does it for me the most. New World. I talk a lot about Old World stuff being an Old World palate, but this is a New World wine that really brings the thunder, in my opinion. A very good effort, an extremely well-made wine, and this was a very solid head-to-head. I'm going to actually go back to the Eddie Doklin in the house. I'm going to go back to the Old World while I do my shout-outs and talk to you guys a little bit, and then maybe back to that, maybe a little bit back to this, a little bit back to that. So the people that are leaving right now, I appreciate you watching today's episode. I'm going to hang for like about 10 more minutes on this episode. It's going to be an epic one. But question of the day for all of you, what do you think the 2008-2009 New York Jets record is going to be? I'm leaning towards 16-0, but what do you think it is? Uh-oh, it's pouring. I love it. Anyway, let's, yes, it might bring thunder. Let's see if it does. Let's see what else we have to do. Oh, I want to do let's do a link up. Keith Goodrum put a very interesting post that I think everybody in the Vayner Nation should read. Mentions me at the end, and Keith is coming from the right place, so Mott, please link that up. I'll send you that link. Let's do the birthdays. Let's do this. First, let's give Aaron Schaefer a big shout out. He passed his big master's exams, so we're very happy for him. I want to give Andrew and Kristen Bonds a happy belated first anniversary. Mott. That's what I like to do. And I want to talk about these following people's birthdays. Jen Fortner, happy birthday. Jess Sloan, happy birthday. These are all belated. Dan Haffel, happy 40th birthday. J.P. Lenzik, happy birthday. Vaughn Melling, happy birthday. That's our dude who was my guest from Calgary. Happy birthday. Conrad Orr, happy 17th birthday. What's he doing in here? Patrick Miner, happy birthday. Rich G, happy 40th birthday. From Tallahassee, Rich is. Tallahassee, is that the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is that near, or are they Dolphin fans?
Tampa Bay.
No, I know that, but Tallahassee is closer to Tampa or Miami, you think? Not sure.
It's on the western.
I don't know, they all suck down there, who cares? And Trish O'Hara, happy birthday. Let's talk about a couple other things. One, you want to know my reaction to Brett Favre? I'm happy. We're going to be dominating, but there's a lot of reasons we're going to be tremendous. We've added enormous amounts of talent to your New York Jets this year, so Brett is just another piece. I'm not going to go crazy. I mean, I'm very happy about Brett, but it's not like, oh my God, my life is over. Not everything is becoming Brett Favre in here. I'm not wearing the number 4, though it's on order. So I'm very happy about Brett. Let's talk about the Thunder Cruise. The Thunder Cruise is absolutely on fire. I am going to do a lot of unbelievable things on this cruise, including throw Mott into the pool, so you don't want to miss that. No, but honestly, let's talk about the Thunder Cruise a little bit. A lot of people were asking questions. The room price, you have to share a room, so I want to talk about that. That's $8.99 a head, but if you get your own room, there's an upcharge, so you want to look for roommates. Mott, let's link up the Thunder Cruise forum in here, so people can talk about that. The Thunder Cruise is going to be one of the most epic events. It's selling extremely quickly. But there still are rooms available. We have a lot of rooms, so you can, absolutely build up and save up for the cruise. But the wine that we're going to be pouring on this event is spectacular. While I was in India, I secured some Bordeaux that is going to be crazy over the top. We're basically going to have our super tasting replicated on Thunder Cruise. If you've ever been to the super tasting, you know what that means. That's a $300 worth tasting by itself. This is absolutely something that you want to be a part of. We're going to be doing so much. Everything's included. I mean, absolutely, the food's included, wine events are all included, all part of that $900 starting price. Kids are free under 17. There is a $200 a head, like $250 a head, like, government tax thing, so it's not free in essence, but it kind of is. You can get 3 people to share a room, and this, I know that with 2 paying adults, the third person's like $400, I think. So you guys can all average down. So I think if you buy a $900 room with 2 people and get a third at $400 Mott, I think it gets down to like $700 a head. It is absolutely going to be one of the most epic events ever. I'm so pumped for the cruise. I'm pulling out all the stops. We're going to be doing seminars, events. I'm going to be rolling there every minute. There's a ton of people coming. So please, 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 if you're thinking about it in any shape or form, you need to be part of the Thunder Cruise. As to my question of the day, it's good to be back. Pretty good show. A little disappointed in the Oregon Pinot. I was expecting a lot from it. Let me taste this again. See what the Bretania is doing now. Pickle stuff is still coming through heavily. It's amazing. Smell that, man. We'll see. Walter, you come over here too, from Poland. See if you can smell this pickles.
Real good, yeah.
Wild, right?
He's coming back, just so. I have no idea why he did say. He said he wants to talk to your dad. So.
Smell it?
Pickles.
Crazy,
I
right?
get them.
Crazy. Anyway, great to be back. Always looking to bring thunder. Tomorrow's show is going to be epic. I just decided what I'm going to do. I'm excited about it because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.